Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Mathieu with Forbidden Knowledge News, inviting you to join me and over 30 extraordinary scientists, researchers, and experiencers at the most amazing event of 2020, the Laughlin UFO Mega Conference. It's going to be February 15th through 22nd in Laughlin, Nevada, where the speakers will be disclosing unprecedented information you won't hear anywhere else. And right now, I'm very excited again to be with one of those speakers, the amazing Leo Zagami. How are you today, Leo?
Very well, and thank you for having me on again for, I guess, introducing some interesting topics that we will also unveil to a public live during a conference in Laughlin, Nevada. It's going to be definitely my first conference also with that historical figure of Jordan Maxwell, which is also been participating lately to some of my shows and who I regard as one of the godfathers of this movement, and that definitely is gonna deliver his own style of things, but in with some new discoveries that he is announcing for this event. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to from what I am preparing for you. So it's going to be an interesting conference, and I'm sure that we're going to be dealing with a lot of interesting speakers, you know?
Definitely, and I just spoke with Jordan the other day. I'm very much looking forward to that, and you always have fascinating information to present. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about what you're going to be presenting? Give us a little teaser.
Well, you see, this is very difficult to do this kind of thing now in November when we have all these months ahead. But I can say that the title really of my work will be American Renaissance 2.0 and the Missing Link in the Invisible World. What does that mean for our viewers? It means that I want to touch on those invisible influences that from the occult scene maneuver a reality, and what is really behind the alien UFO phenomenon these days in certain secret societies, in certain institutions like the church. For example, in the last few days in Rome, they have delivered a statue of Moloch, full size, at the entrance of the Colosseum. I just broke the news a few hours ago from my website, and it's an incredible happening if you think about it, after already the Pachamama statues that were also hijacked at the last minute and thrown into the river by a couple of traditionalists. Things are moving in Rome, and we know that Rome is so important. Why? Because the Vatican, the Jesuits, have, of course, a very important say in all this reality, which, of course, surrounds also the symbols that you have behind your back today.
So there's a lot of very interesting things happening. I know there's a lot happening behind the scenes, but also with the UFO phenomenon, there's a lot more in the media that we're hearing about. And along with that, there's just a lot of, I guess you could say, tension among people. There's a lot of division. It seems like the media is trying to intentionally divide people and, you know, cause more problems than we need right now. But it's all mixed in with very strange things like the UFO phenomenon. What's your take on what's happening right now with all this?
Well, you see, that's why I have just handy my latest book for the moment. Of course, we will have other books that will come out probably before the event, at least one that I have in preparation, but this in particular delivers information which is nowhere else regarding the UFO phenomenon these days. There is evidence of a link between the Jesuits in Rome, the Vatican hierarchy at the highest level with the Cardinal Parolin, the Secretary of State, and the Vice President of the Academy of the Illuminati, Pier Giorgio Bassi. I actually show in this book a photo of the two together in the Vatican, just to prove my point, because I like to prove my points following an investigative journalist method of certainty of my sources and what I'm delivering, because I don't want to give in, there is too much disinformation out there. These complex topics lead the way to various interpretations. So in this book, I have proposed not an interpretation, but some facts. John Podesta, and you know John Podesta has been a leading figure in the Hillary campaign, and of course also all these emails and this scandalous link with Marina Abramovich, and of course a certain esoteric milieu of the OTO and Aleister Crowley. And all this connected to John Podesta, who meets in Rome Pier Giorgio Bassi to discuss UFOs. And they do it in 2016, right at the beginning of the campaign, and then after, right at the end. To understand this link, you have to really go in search of information which is not really out there. But thanks to a journalist I know who actually reported the event and who knows personally some of these people, I was able to access some information regarding their links with Moscow, with this institute. We have had recently one of their emissaries coming here in the US, Roberto Pinotti, who in turn went to Roswell this year, right at the very special, I think it was the 72th anniversary of the Roswell crash. Now, people tend to always, the Roswell crash, Area 51, all these things are overly kind of simplified and even led to become pop culture icons. Now, this, of course, takes away from the seriousness of the subject. So during my speech in Laughlin, in Nevada in 2020, I will focus on the actual evidence that is plenty, but it just needs to be researched and needs to be understood. Because, of course, as there is links between the Russian ex-KGB, the present FSB, the present the old GRU, and all these basically institutions in the ex-Soviet Union, which then studied closely this phenomena that you are discussing and that we are all trying to understand during this conference that we're going to have in Laughlin. So aside from what, of course, are going to be the revelations that we are all looking forward of Jordan Maxwell, which, of course, I would like all the participants in this event to focus on, because I think they will be important. I want to bring also my own research and experience, especially on the topic of UFO and aliens, or how you want to call them. Because already calling them this way, you are already kind of putting certain restrictions, certain limitations in the understanding of a much more complex subject. We have the possibility to link this subject with secret societies that have been operating for hundreds, even thousands of years. But we have to also be realistic of the evidence that we have, and we can't always go on that kind of ancient aliens trail, because we might lose the understanding of the more metaphysical teachings and also histories that are told at times in the form of legend that then we have to interpret and then put into reality. What is then that reality? At times our interpretation of reality might be different because we have been initiated in a different way to reality. Now, initiated. And that goes back to the theme and the subject of secret societies, which of course I will touch during my my conference in Laughlin, because the interpretation is based on those levels of initiation that bring you to different understanding.
I agree with you 100%. I think there is so much more to this phenomenon, and I'm very much looking forward to your presentation in Laughlin. Looking forward to meet you there, and thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me on, and looking forward to meet all of you live, because it's important, I think, that we also meet in person. It's been great for all these years to have this connection with most of my viewers, listeners through the internet. But it's much more great to meet you in person, to actually have a dialogue, and to understand ourselves at times in a different way when we are one in front of the other. A way that is not possible through these alien means, because what we might have and what we are actually using to communicate even today might actually be a trick that is played on us, a way of manipulating us. and of course of restricting our possibility of dealing with this reality in person. Because in person, then we achieve and we gain something that is called experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you in Laughlin. If you want to learn about our mysterious existence, you don't want to miss this event. The information being disclosed will be unprecedented. This is also going to be the world's lowest cost convention. There's never going to be an insane cost to get an autograph or selfie with one of the speakers. And there's going to be some awesome social meal events where you get to meet some fellow truth seekers and some of the presenters. Be sure to go to Laughlin UFO Mega Conference.com right now to ensure your early discount package prices. I really hope to see you there.